vlog. My name is Christina. I'm a 23-year-old first-time mom, and I'm also a 4.0 college student. Well, technically I'm a 3.2 college student, but this last semester that I just got done with, I got a 4.0 GPA. That's right, straight A's, 4.0, 15 credits. Thank you, thank you. I'm just kidding, of course. I am a firm believer that your grades in school is not a reflection on how smart you are. It is just a reflection of your work ethic. And whether you choose to go to college or not, having a good work ethic is a very good thing to have. So here are my tips and tricks on how to get straight A's in college. So tip number 1 is to turn in every assignment, and if you have the time and energy, do extra credit. Now this seems kind of like a common sense tip that to get a good grade, you need to turn in the work, but I know so many people who don't turn in their work. And the work that they do turn in is really good, and it's really great work. But if you don't turn in the assignments, you can't get credit for the assignments. You see what I mean? So don't create that problem for yourself. Don't create a situation where you're having to play catch up. Just turn in every assignment, preferably on time. But then, if you do have the time and energy, it's a good idea to also do some extra credit. Say you usually do well on these assignments, but then this week when this assignment was due, you had to go get your car fixed, and then your rent was late, and then you got in a fight with your roommate, and everything stacked up, and you didn't do well on the assignment. If you have extra credit, that could help make up the deficit for whatever points you missed on that assignment when life just decides to slap you in the face. Extra credit is also a good idea because it can be the difference between a B and an A. So tip number 2 is to plan ahead. This also seems like a tip that everyone knows, but to be honest, it wasn't until I got to college where I started planning out my work week ahead of time. So syllabi are one of the best things that teachers can give you. This is a paper that they give you in the beginning of the class during the school year, and it has an outline of all their expectations. It has an outline of all the assignments that you're going to do week by week. And so you can look at those syllabi and look ahead. So you kind of have an idea of when your big projects and your tests are going to be happening. It is a lot to look at first. I do get very easily overwhelmed, but what I do is just take it week by week and prioritize my assignments accordingly. So not only do I prioritize my assignments by when their due date is, but I also prioritize my assignments by how long it's going to take me to do it. For example, when I would take math or science classes, I know those would take me a lot more time and energy than it would be to write a paper. However, if I have to do research for a paper, that's going to take me way more time than watching a video for another class. So planning ahead, you can write this out in a planner and use colored highlighters. You can put it all in your phone as reminders. I personally use a whiteboard right above my desk, and it has a little calendar grid on it. So that way I know what classes I'm doing on what days of the week, and I kind of have an idea of when I need to get those done. Tip number 3 is to try. Yes, if you do want to get A's in college, high school, middle school, you have to try. This sounds ridiculous to say, but I know so many people who skate by in school and they say, oh, well, I got this grade on an assignment, but I didn't really try. Why didn't you try? If you go to college in the United States, like unfortunately I do, you or somebody else is probably paying for your college. And by somebody else, it doesn't necessarily have to be your parents. It can be you're on a scholarship that meets stipulations, like you have to have a 3.2 GPA and do 10 hours of community service. You could be using your parents or your own GI Bill, or if you're like me, you are taking out loans to go to college. That being the case, why wouldn't you try? And even in K through 12th grade in the United States, that schooling comes free, but you are spending about 8 to 10 hours of your life there 5 days a week. In order to get good grades, you do have to put all of your effort into the work that you do, even if it's in a subject that you don't necessarily like. My absolute favorite TV show is Parks and Recreation, and The wise Ron Swanson once said,
Never half-ass two things. Whole-ass one thing.
So tip number 4 is to take breaks and give yourself a rest. I am guilty of steamrolling myself and going really hard on something all at once, and then for the next 2 weeks I don't really have any energy, so I don't really want to do things, and then I procrastinate, and then I have all this work piled up. Well, what's important in getting good grades is yes to try, yes to push yourself, but also to give yourself some grace and make time in your schedule for breaks and free time and leisure. The human brain can only really focus for 90 minutes at a time. So you work as hard as you can for those 90 minutes and then take a 30-minute lunch break. Watch an episode of your favorite show. Play some Animal Crossing. If you feel like you're burning out, there's no way you're going to be able to produce quality work and work that you're proud of. And if you're burned out, you're not even going to want to work. So do take some time to yourself and make time for those breaks. All right, last tip, tip number 5. You need to ask for help. Yes, ask for help when you need it. And even if you don't think you need it, ask for help anyway. This semester was really crazy because it was my first semester as a student while being a parent. But it was also crazy because of the current situation of the world that we have landed in 2020. I and many other students have classes strictly online, and I'm not a great online learner. I love the classroom setting. I love being able to have one-on-one time, face-to-face time with my teachers and my peers, but this semester was a lot different. So the way that I asked for help this semester was I reached out to my teachers a lot. I had a lot of emails, a lot of video conferences. I sought out help from my teachers. My baby's awake. Bubbling. And not only that, this semester was my first time being a parent and going to school. I know this isn't a reality for your traditional student, but I also know a lot of students who do have kids. And I know that there is no way I would have been able to make my grades if I hadn't had help from my friends and Nicholas, of course. He would take days off work specifically when I would have online classes to meet with, so he could just be with her and I could focus on school and do my absolute very best. So yes, it is extremely important to ask for help. School is difficult, and it's really important to ask for help when you need it, because if you're trying to do everything by yourself, it's tough. And some people are superheroes and they can do it, but the rest of us probably aren't. And no one is ever going to think less of you for asking for help. Yeah. Uh-huh. All right, everyone, so those are my 5 tips for being a straight-A college student. But of course you could apply this to middle school or high school. And to be honest, I never got straight A's in middle school or high school. And I don't get straight A's every semester. There are some semesters where I had really hard classes and some semesters where life was really hard and I couldn't put all my energy and focus into school. But if I can get straight A's, you can get straight A's. But do know that good grades are not a reflection of your smarts, but are a reflection of your work ethic. And having a good work ethic is something that is good to have. If you guys have made it to the end of the video, thank you guys so much for watching. Go ahead and give this video a like if you'd like more tips about school. I have done a lot of school. Leave a comment down below if you're going to try for straight A's this semester, or if you do get straight A's during school. I would love to know your tips and tricks for getting good grades. And last but not least, if you really, really want to, please subscribe to this channel. I do try to post content often about me, my life, and of course, my beautiful daughter Madeline. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Say bye. Say bye.